Restaurant owner pretends to be homeless after seeing waitress taking out leftovers. After 2 failed marriages, Mike lost all his hope of finding a perfect partner who wouldn't love him for his money. But one day a female staff at his restaurant did something unexpectedly. He soon decided to test her, and something exceptionally remarkable happened. Not 1 but 2 divorces, Mike muttered to himself. His love life was nothing less than a devastating course of incidents. This was not the life that he dreamt of when he was young. Though he might be successful and an overachiever in business, the main reason because of his fortune from his late grandfather. But when it came to love life, it was nothing less than a terrible nightmare. At the young age of 19, he first got married, but unfortunately, when he learned that the woman only married him for money, their marriage only lasted for 6 months, and they both parted ways. After years of dating around, Mike finally met Sarah, who was already wealthier just like him. Initially, it seemed a perfect idea, as she wouldn't want anything else, but apparently, he was wrong. He was again stabbed, as he discovered through her telephonic conversation that she only married him to escape from her family's clutches. However, Sarah was only waiting for Mike's grandfather to pass away so she could file for divorce and get more money in the end. Learning the terrifying truth, Mike filed for divorce even before his grandfather's demise. Unfortunately, he felt more alone than ever when his grandfather passed away after a year of his second divorce. He soon knew that he was responsible for running the business and had much greater responsibilities to handle. But one thing was constantly disturbing the young Mike. After having everything, the one major thing which he lacked was a better love life. And what's the point of making money if one can't share it with his loved one? He went to bed with this thought in his mind. On the following day, a special encounter was waiting for him on his way. But this time it was something he never imagined to happen. He drove up to one of his restaurants in Chicago and chose to park his car at the back entrance. It was the same entrance that most of his staff used, though it was something more convenient, but perhaps something else made him go there. While he was parking his car, he sighted a new waitress with a bowl of something in her hands. Was she stealing food? He thought instantly. However, it was odd because this place offered its employees breakfast, lunch, and dinner depending on their shifts. He saw the woman pouring whatever she took into a box on the floor and soon after finishing rushed inside. Meanwhile, after parking his car, Mike got out to investigate the matter closely. On his way, he heard a meow coming from the cardboard box. It was a kitten and it was devouring the food the woman brought outside. What a kind gesture, he whispered to himself and remembered the tenderness the woman had on her face. Soon an ingenious idea stuck in Mike's mind and he rushed back to his car and went straight to change his clothes. Ashley exited the restaurant from the backside like she eventually used to do. Someone had abandoned a kitten in a box and she was feeding the leftover from the day. Hopefully, no one noticed her doing this. Unfortunately, she was moving apartments and couldn't take the kitten home. So, by that time the leftover food worked, and as soon she stepped out for the second time that day, the kitten was nowhere to be seen. Oh no! And Ashley started to call and looked around for the kitten. But suddenly, she saw the tiny cat in the arms of a homeless man, dressed in poor clothes. "Hello there, is this your cat?" the man asked with a kind smile. "No, technically I found it a few days ago and I have been feeding it secretly. Don't escalate it to my boss." Ashley giggled and petted the kitten. Ashley continued, "I'm soon planning to take the kitten home, but currently I had to drop out of college to help my mother and she has gone forever." "I'm sorry, but pleased to meet you," Mike responded, staring at the woman who seemed to have a heart of gold. They together watched the kitten for a while until Ashley stood. "Listen, are you hungry? I can get you something." "Oh no." Mike tried to refuse, but Ashley didn't hear a word and rushed inside to grab some food. She came out with a nice sandwich along with a drink. Ashley smiled brightly and said, "You can keep the kitten there, I'm surely taking it with me tomorrow. I have to get back to work." Mike watched her go back inside and then stared at the cat. Soon, the following day, the waitress was wiping the bar. That's when her manager approached her and said, "The boss wants to see you." "What did you do?" he furiously asked. "You mean the owner?" Ashley asked. "But I haven't done anything." "Yes, he is here and he wants to see you in his office." Back in her mind, many thoughts were running, and one only goes in there unless the manager wants to fire him. "You are in trouble, go in fast," said the manager. Ashley entered with shaking hands and was stunned by the person behind the desk. "Mike," she breathed. He was dressed in an expensive suit and looked nothing like the man she met yesterday. Mike looked up from his computer and smiled at her. He pointed at the chair next to his desk and asked her to look. The adorable kitten was peacefully sleeping there. Ashley was flabbergasted, yet many questions were running through her head. "What's going on?" she asked. Mike explained himself and told her that he wanted to test some of his employees by dressing like a homeless person. He observed her being kind to the kitten and wondered if her niceness extended to people. That was a tricky game though. Ashley laughed breathlessly. "I was also wondering if would you like to have dinner with me," Mike asked, looking at Ashley. "I don't even know you and mainly you are my boss," she hesitated. Later, days passed and they talked every once in a while, and eventually, Ashley said yes to the date.